In her new book, The New Jim Crow, Dr. Anderson says that black boys are systematically drummed out of the educational system. They are put into special education, although there's nothing wrong with them. They are arrested at school and thrown into the juvenile delinquency system or prison system even at a very early age, which then gives them a record and puts them into the prison industrial complex, which is a multi-billion-dollar and growing system. Thank you for watching the Shagama Live Show. Today I'm going to talk about blacks and homeschooling, and they are the largest segment of the population growing in homeschooling. And I'm going to recommend and suggest and encourage all black parents to homeschool their children. Unless you are sending your child to a parochial private school right now, I'm going to recommend that you homeschool your children. Now, of course, that entails a lot. It's very involved. It's very detailed. But even if you're poor, you can still homeschool your children. And trust me, the educational system that as it stands right now is failing black people. So let's take a look. I have some very old numbers. Okay, so homeschoolers nationwide, 2 million. Blacks, 140,000. And they are the largest minority, I don't like using that word, segment to homeschool and growing. And so some of the researchers have asked the question why. And the only people to really answer the question are black charter principals who were actually willing to talk about it on camera. Education, and this is why, according to their findings, there's an educational gap between whites and blacks. Blacks are left behind in school. Teachers only teach to white kids. And this brings up another study that was done. There was a study done where a teacher was told that certain children in her classroom were gifted geniuses. So, this is what they told the teacher at the beginning of the year. It was a brand new teacher. She was told this. And so at the end of the year, all of those students she was told were gifted geniuses, all made straight A's in every subject. Come to find out that those were the worst, most disruptive, worst grades, kids that had ever been in the school before. So they were trying to study the impact of the teacher on the student, and that clearly showed that it is the teacher that teaches to the student and not the student that, is a part of it. Yes, there might be some home life issues that the student cannot deal with on their own. But I guarantee you, if the student is dealing with home issues that might not be very good, a really good teacher, and in this case, obviously that didn't matter, right? Because they probably confided in this teacher, and the teacher as an adult said, oh, well, see, this is how you should look at it, blah, 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 this is how you should deal with it. That is probably what went on. They all had straight A's, and they were the worst students before. So they concluded, and this wasn't just done one time, it was done on several teachers. They concluded it is the teacher that teaches to the student. And the charter school principals are saying it is the teacher that is teaching to white kids, regardless of the race of the teacher. Be he or she black or white. Black parents are committed to public school. This is another thing that they said. Due to the civil rights nonsense, of putting black kids next to white kids. And they sent their kids to school, and they hope that their kids get an education, regardless of the child being put in special ed, arrested, and other horror stories that you hear about black kids, about learning while black, if you want to coin that phrase there. The whole problem, let me just touch on the civil rights era and all of the mistakes that black people made back then. It was all financial. Black people were being charged all of these taxes, and they received none of the services that the taxes supposedly went to, which was education, fire, rescue, healthcare, police, nothing. They paid all of their money in taxes, and they received nothing for it. Instead of them trying to go sit next to a white person, which is the last thing they should have been doing. I mean, some of the kids were beaten. They had rotten vegetables thrown. They were insulted. Why would you put your kid through that? What kind of idiot would do that? I just want to choke those people back then. Why would you do that? Why would you sit at a counter? Oh, I want to get some cherry pie. And so to get some cherry pie sitting at the front counter, I'm going to sit through white people calling me nigger. What the hell is that? What kind of moron are you? Oh my God. It pisses, this entire civil rights era pisses me all the way off. And black people were much richer back then. But I digress. Let's get back to this. You don't sit your child next to a white child. They have done studies of diversity today. Thomas Sowell, Dr. Sowell, has done research himself. The other black economist has done research himself, and they have all come to the conclusion that diversity does absolutely nothing. You put your child where he belongs. A lot of these children, like Dr. Anderson was saying, a lot of these children go into public schools, these black children, and they are put into special ed by the white teachers. Oh, he's learning disabled. He's not learning disabled. He certainly comes home and plays World of Warcraft fine. He reads everything on the screen. He's not learning disabled. He's not learning disabled at all. But they have a tendency to fail black students. And this is public school. You get into the charter school that actually competes with public school, and black kids all of a sudden bloom into these geniuses. And then you have the black parents who are, in this case, homeschooling, and the black children bloom into these geniuses. So what's going on? These are the same kids. These are the same kids. And I would suggest to you, I would recommend to you, if you come home and your child has a note saying that your son is going to special ed, and it's mainly black boys, of course, right? They want to get the black boys out of the system as soon as they possibly can. They don't want black engineers. If you come home and your son has a note saying he is slotted for special ed, I recommend that you immediately take your son out of that school. I guarantee you, 90% of the time, I guarantee you, there is absolutely nothing wrong with your child. And if the school calls the cops on your child, you take your child out of that school. There is nothing wrong with your child and everything wrong with that school. You look for a charter school, you go and start suing people, you go and look and make sure you get the money that you spend in taxes for that public school that you get a voucher to go to a charter school. Just you. It doesn't have to be a referendum. Just you. One of the things they did in this little study and documentary about the homeschooling, the charter principal says, oh, we have to all come together and solve the problem. No, we don't. Black parents need to take care of their black children. That's it. They don't need to take care of white children. They don't need to take care of Latino children. They need to take care of their own children. That's it. And that's the exact problem that has been going on. Blacks have been burdened with, oh, well, you know, it's a community effort. No, it's not a community effort. Had they been thinking, they would have sat down and said, what is best for my child? And what is best for your child is not to be sitting at a lunch counter. Is not to be putting your child through armed escort to a school. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're an idiot if you did that. And whoever put you through it is an idiot. You're an idiot. That is not what is best for a child. I cannot believe people did that. Oh, I would choke somebody. You paid your money. You didn't get your services. You should have been suing. That's what they should have been doing. They should have been suing left, right, and center. Anyway, this is actually a message of encouragement. Blacks are the largest group that are starting to homeschool their children. I encourage all black people to homeschool their children. Every single one. School today is not designed to produce a thinking citizen. And if you're black, you're definitely not taught to think. Right? Let's call a spade a spade. School is not designed. And that includes elementary, high school, and college. The only portion of any school that teaches you how to think is law school. Because in law, you have to learn how to think. When you go to law school, they have to break you down. That's why so many law school students fail the first year. Because they have to rake away all of the muck that has been force-fed into the student all of those years. That's why so many law school students fail the first year of law school. Law school is the only thing that teaches you how to actually think. Not medical school, not dental school, not whatever school, not engineering school, nothing. Even engineering. I know a lot of engineers are going to disagree, but it doesn't teach you how to think. It doesn't teach you how to reason. It teaches you how to draw pretty lines and think how to put stuff on paper, but it doesn't teach you how to think. Homeschooling teaches the child how to think. Why? Because the parent then is educating the child. They're educating the child and all of the curriculums that I've looked at teaches the child how to think, which is not what public school does. And for the most part, public school destroys any and all black history. Public school destroys any notion that black people were kings, emperors, had empires when white people were running around in loincloth. It's an abomination. They are so hell-bent on making sure that white superiority is maintained that they have bastardized and completely changed history to try and reflect some sort of glorious European domination of the world. They're trying to set white people in places where white people didn't even exist or couldn't exist because they didn't have the technology to. They are setting white people in China. They're setting white people in Africa. They're setting white people in the Americas well before they even had the capability. And what does this do to the psyche of a little black child? It tells the little black child that he is worth nothing. He didn't contribute anything to the world. when most of the learning and knowledge that the world takes for granted these days in math and science actually came from Africa and the Middle East. But it was the Middle East through gathering African scientists. Little known fact. Before Islam, the Middle East was actually a pretty cool place. Before Islam. Before Islam. After Islam, it has become a desert of knowledge. It's where knowledge goes to die. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh no, Islam is the greatest. No, it's not the greatest. It's where knowledge goes to die. So, before Islam, the Middle East was pretty cool. They didn't care what religion you were, and they were a center of learning. Just as, before that, Africa was a center of learning. And this is something that they do not teach in public schools in America. I encourage all black parents to homeschool your children. There are several associations. There's the National Association of Black Home Educators, and then there's the Liberated Minds Black Homeschool Association, and there's more than that. So check out your area. Even if you don't have children or children of learning age, of like high school and underage, I would go and support and encourage those people. If we really want to get out of this rut and get out of this system, we need to pull our kids out of this system. The schools are not just failing us; they're sending our boys to prison as much as they possibly can. Anyway, thank you for watching the Shikama Live Show. Tell me your comments. Share your experiences, and like the video. The likes really help out. It raises this video to a higher position in the YouTube search engine. All right. Thank you for watching Shikama Live.